Alrighty, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Today the video is going to be going over my build and what I'm currently rocking for my setup for my bruiser build for the greatsword staff. This was a requested build, and so I thought it'd be a good idea to make a video just explaining the features that I currently have on my setup. Alright, so currently I did discuss my stats, but finally I was able to achieve the 40, 60, 16, 40, which is nice. I was aiming for more 50% perception, but that's something that would be a little bit more down the line. For my weapons, what I'm rocking is mostly a heavy attack chance, hit, and critical hit on my greatsword. This is almost maxed out. And then for my staff, sadly I got the tier 2 staff and regretted it. So I went back to the tier 1 staff, which is a far superior weapon. This one has increased range, dex, but currently cooldown is something I'm looking to see how well it performs and how noticeable it really is. But yeah, that 20% range increase does apply to your greatsword as well, so your attack ranges on certain abilities will be extended. So let's go through my armor and what I'm currently rocking. So I'm using the Wraith Knight Netherworld headgear. I like this piece mostly, one, because it looks amazing and it reminds me of Lord of the Rings, and that's just my favorite movie franchise. So I love this and I look like Sauron. Anyways, I like the stats distribution that it currently has. 3 strength, 3 dex, and cooldown. This can be a little bit higher once I leveled it up. So what I'm currently rocking on this one is max health, range endurance, and melee endurance. Lowering those critical attacks and critical damage that you receive is just overall really beneficial. For my chest piece, I'm rocking a Sacred Vanquisher Atonement Clothes, and I really like this piece. It does provide wisdom, sadly, so that's one unfortunate thing, but having a little bit of wisdom isn't that terrible. It does provide a heavy attack chance and weaken chance, which we can also apply, allows for burn and slows to proc easier. So reason why I like this set, the skill damage over time 20%. I really like this feature for the tick damage that burn applies. This allows it to do more damage, and it just helps with the fire and burn skill passive to deal more DPS over time. I'm rocking magic endurance, melee evasion, and magic evasion for this set. I personally that's what I'm currently looking for, is like a mix between magic evasion, melee evasion, and range evasion, due to the fact that this build setup is compatible within all ranges of combat. It can be used against magic, range, and DPS melee. So having all of your evasions and magic endurance spread out throughout your armor sense equally is not a bad idea for this setup. For my arms, I'm using the Sacred Vanquisher's Conquest Gloves, solid gloves. Besides, no magic or range endurance or melee endurance, sadly, but we do have a range increase. I like this because this applies more range for both our staff and greatsword. Overall, you want range for if you're going to be a ranged DPS or just have a ranged weapon. With the melee having incredible range, you want to increase yours as well. Definitely a solid piece. It has dex, wisdom, and 97 critical hit, which is very good for combat in general, for us to hit that heavy crit damage. So pretty much we're just stacking on crit as much as possible. For my legs, so the Wraith Knight, I like this set due to the fact that it has melee evasion and ranged evasion on it as a passive, and not something that you would need to put on a trait for. So we can apply a little bit more things, for example, max health and debuff duration. Obviously, the Witch Knight set, or the Wrath Knight set, is a very good set and something I would recommend if you're looking for a bruiser build. I'm running the General Charge boots for my shoes, and that is mostly just due to the fact that it is a movement speed and 6 strength, which is really nice. Ranged endurance, and we're rocking movement speed and ranged evasion. Another really good piece. You could replace this out for another tier 2. So far I haven't found a tier 2 I'm really wanting to replace it with, and so I'm currently looking around to see what is possible for a good replacement for this set. Cloak, I'm just rocking the Archpriest Devotion. The reason why I like this one is because it provides a little bit of cooldown reduction, mana regen, and critical hit, which we're all looking for just in general, since we're trying to hit as hard as possible while also maintaining that mana that we will be burning through. Just debuff duration, skill damage resistance, and max mana. I like the max mana a little bit just because we do burn through mana, and having that 600 can help in combat. Alrighty, for my necklace, I'm just using the Abyss Conqueror's necklace. The reason why I like this one as well, because it has strength and perception and mana regen. So those are all really wonderful stats, and what I'm currently rocking is buff duration, max health, and then skill damage boost. Buff duration is something I'm not too really sure if I'm really wanting on my jewelry yet, but that is something I'm looking into to see if there's a better replacement for it. Beast King bracelet. I really like this set, this piece entirely, is because it has 6 perception and bonus damage. So that bonus damage just allows us to deal more DPS, just more damage on our attacks overall. I'm rocking on the traits for max health, debuff duration, and skill damage resistance. All of these are what you're mostly looking for in most of your accessories, as they're just the best. For my ring, just a Lethal Frost ring. This isn't like a ring I would 100% keep in my build. This is something I probably would replace with something when I find something better. But currently, this is what I'm rocking. 5 dex is really nice, and the weaken chance is good for proccing burn damage on your opponents. Right now, I have weaken chance, skill damage boost, and buff duration. That weaken chance was what I rolled with, and I haven't tried to switch that out yet. But that is something I would switch out for a better perk. For example, like max health or mana. Unshakable Gold Ring. This ring is... there's no reason not to have this ring if you're using a greatsword in general. It's just, it applies really good benefits on overall passives, like attack speed, strength, and stun chance, so that just allows counter blow to be more efficient in combat. Currently, the traits I'm rocking is buff duration, skill damage boost, and max health. For my belt, I'm rocking the Butcher's Belt. I think it's a pretty solid piece. The reason why I like it is because of the max health, which increases our just increases our max HP, damage reduction, weaken resistance. So that helps with burn, any poison that they're applied. For the traits, max health, skill damage resistance, and debuff duration. So pretty much, if you have the opportunity to get debuff duration on any of your gear, I would recommend doing that, as that is probably one of the most essential ways to survive CC in the game. So the things that I would probably improve with this setup right now is, the only staff so far that I would recommend replacing this staff with is the one from the world boss, Talus. The Talus staff is the only staff I would recommend replacing this one with currently, as yes, you'll be losing a little bit of range, but that CC immunity for 1 second is probably more beneficial for the staff than a little bit of range and the critical hit. While you probably will be hitting harder with this staff, but you will attain a higher survivability with the other one. For the greatsword, most of the greatswords are pretty decent. For the purple ones, you can choose which ones you would like. The reason why I have this one is just because it's the easiest to get on the Hyper Boost servers, and I do like the 10 dex and cooldown speed. So that's my build setup so far. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know that this build still needs a lot of work and max out traits and ruins, but we're working there slowly. It's not something I'm in a rush for because this is just KR and not global, but it's a good way to test and see what's going on. So for my next video, I will be making a PvE build and showcasing just some tier 2 dungeons and me completing them. Most likely not going to be a voiceover, just maybe in the beginning. So just tune in for that, and if you guys have any recommendations on anything you need explained on, like stats or guides, just please let me know, and I'll try my best to provide that information for you guys. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.